Raise your hand if you think first responders like firefighters and police officers should get PTSD coverage through their workers' compensation system. I imagine every single person here would put their hand up. Like most of you, Murphy Law Firm backs the blue. We back our first responders. We back all of our emergency personnel who have to respond to a variety of intense situations. This is rescuing people. This is responding to dangerous individuals like the Anaconda Owl bar shooter. Now, currently, the state of Montana law is that you do not get workers' compensation coverage for a mental injury only. You have to also have a physical injury. We call that the physical mental threshold. You cannot have a standalone psychological injury, which in 2025 is crazy. We can all agree. Psychological injuries are real. Anytime someone watches people die, anytime someone responds to a situation where people are seriously injured or maimed and they're trying to save them, that's psychological. You should be covered for at least some psychological treatment. Well, in Montana, at this past legislative session, both the House and the Senate proposed two bills, House Bill 552 and Senate Bill 394. The bills being, we are now going to provide workers' compensation coverage for first responders who suffer traumatic incidents and need psychological treatment. At the House level, the bill never made it to Governor Gianforte's office because it was killed. That bill died, primarily vetoed by House Republicans. However, the Senate bill actually passed the Senate and made it to Governor Gianforte's office. And what did Governor Gianforte do? He vetoed it, and it would have provided psychological workers' compensation coverage for first responders who require psychological treatment due to something traumatic that happened in their work.
Governor Greg Gianforte has vetoed 28 bills from this year's legislative session. That's the most he's rejected from a single legislative session since becoming governor in 2021.
He had a couple of reasons. One is that first responders are not the only professions that deal with traumatic, psychologically traumatizing issues. And he's right, that's fair. But it would have been a good first step forward. We got to crack the ice somewhere. And the second reason is it would have raised costs for all work comp insurance premiums for all businesses in the state of Montana. That's your classic shield from any benefit going to an injured worker in Montana.
So this is a standard with workers' comp. This is the scare tactic that gets used every time we're talking about stuff like this.
But the firefighters of Montana didn't like it so much. And you can check out their social media comments. They said things like, Gianforte told us he was going to back us, but then vetoed this bill, or that's not cool by the Billings firefighters. At any rate, we agree. That's not cool. Let's cover these first responders who need psychological treatment because they suffered something traumatic in the course and scope of their employment. They're not going to abuse the system. I know a bunch of firefighters. I know a bunch of police officers. They're not going to abuse the system, Governor. We need to help these people, and we need to get with the times and recognize that psychological injuries are real, and you don't have to have a physical injury to have a psychological injury. So figure out who your legislature is, call them and tell them you would like to provide psychological treatment for them through their work comp claim.